County Republican Men's Club this morning at the Opportunity House for my first chance to share with this group what our campaign plan is for the fall. And I see it as an opportunity, perfect place to be, the Opportunity House. Delighted that these folks have invited me, looking forward to some spirited discussion and making sure that by the time we leave today, we're united and ignited toward winning the 11th district race.
Check your name off so we know you're here. We take attendance. And I don't think I have to really introduce our guest. He can introduce himself. All I can say is I have wanted to have this meeting because I think Dr. Mumpower, he wants to tell us his vision. He wants to tell us where he wants to lead us the 11th District in the National Congress, to start to right the ways that have been going wrong the past few years. And all we can say is let's hear him out. He's willing to answer any and all questions, and he has the floor. I'm going to take the meeting a little past up to 9:15 if the interest is there. But if you have to leave, we understand. But we want to make sure we have plenty of time. So without further ado, Dr. Carl Mumpower.
Thank you, Dr. Stanley, and thank you everyone that has come this morning. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I remember after the primary, Bill Moss had an editorial in the paper that suggested now we can all take a rest for the summer and relax until after Labor Day. I wish I'd taken Bill up on that suggestion, but I didn't. I have my wife with me today, and I'm kidding. Actually, I'm delighted, and I want to take full advantage of every moment between that primary in November, and delighted to have an active campaign through the summer. My wife is here, Lisa. Lisa, could you raise your hand? Those of you who have been candidates know that she deserves a bigger applause than the candidate does. My son Matt is somewhere in the room. Matt, I'm proud to announce that both of these folks have tentatively committed to voting for me in November. It is my honor to be your Republican nominee for the 11th district seat. It is an honor that I treat seriously and responsibly, that I'm going to embrace with every ounce of courage, energy, mind, heart that I have. We're off to that start. Today I'm here to talk with you about what my plans and intentions are, how you can play a part in that, and then see if I can put your mind to rest on some of the concerns, frustrations, and confusions that might have reigned around recent events. We'll have plenty of time for questions. Let's talk about what's ahead of us, what we're up against, what we're going to be dealing with as we step forward. Well, first off, we can't win this campaign with money. Congressman Schuler has raised about $1 million so far. 80% of that has come from out of the area, give or take. About 80% of that comes from unions, PACs, special interests, his own party members. We can't compete with that. Besides that, it's been proven that money won't do it. In race after race, including the last one in the 11th district, where Congressman Taylor spent in the neighborhood of $4 million. Money didn't do the job. Now, money matters. We need to raise money, but it will not lead the way in my campaign because, quite simply, it won't work. We cannot win by attacking Heath Schuler and bringing up Nancy Pelosi all the time. I intend to bring up the fact that that was his first vote. I think when you elect an ultra-liberal as the leader of the most important elected body in the world, arguably, that says something. But that's not a campaign. Beating him up on his failings or limitations is not a campaign. You run a campaign based on who you are, not who the other guy isn't. Or at least that's my belief. Now, I intend to challenge him but I'm not going to build my campaign around criticizing it. It's already been demonstrated that doesn't work either. We cannot win by counting on the help of the RNC or NRCC. I'm open to advice, open to talking with them, but in candor, and I'll speak to this later, I think they're part of the problem with the Republican Party. I am not interested in being obligated to them in any form, shape, or fashion. I have met with them, and frankly, my concerns when I met with them in the fall were inflated by that opportunity. We cannot win with a traditional campaign format. We saw that in May. If you paid any attention to Utah yesterday, there's some lessons there. We have to be different. We can't run it just like it's always been run. We got our lunch handed to us in May, and a lot of people think there's a danger of that happening in November. We're not going to win by replacing a mainstream incumbent with another mainstream candidate. It's not going to help to be like him. I'm not like him, don't intend to be like him, but I know a lot of folks prefer the idea of a comfortable candidate. And we'll be comfortable right up till November when we lose. I'm not going to be a comfortable candidate. We cannot win by beating the Republican drum that no one's paying any attention to. America is looking away from the message of the Republican Party because the Republican Party's words and actions for some time now have not matched. I cannot say I blame America, but I don't want America to give up on us, and I'm certainly not going to give up on our party. We cannot win, most importantly, by abandoning the principles upon which we're founded. And that's probably my central concern, is that the Republican Party in recent years has looked away from the principles that found us. I have roughly 50 copies of the Republican principles. You hear me use that word all the time. They're not my principles. They're our principles, and I hope they're enough to, if you don't need one, pass it on through, because some of these middle folks may not be getting a copy. But we can win. I'm not one, those who have talked to me know that I'm not an artificial optimist. Oh yeah, we're going to take this, we're going to beat him like a dog, take him behind the woodshed, or all those phrases. I'm not into that. I'm serious about the things that I do, and I've thought and talked and discussed and explored and listened and tried to learn what I believe is a campaign that gives us a reasonable chance of defeating Heath Shuler in the fall. Let's remember that in 2006, Western North Carolina elected a football player with no prior political experience to be our representative in Washington. There's a statement there. There are a number of statements there. I think we need to learn from that, listen to that, as we make an effort to defeat him. Now, we can do several things right now. I can stop and take questions. But what I'd like to do is press on, with your permission, and give you our 20-point design for winning back the 11th seat. What's your preference? Would you like me to take some questions, or may I press on and tell you what I'd like to do? Well, first off, we're going to stress a campaign that pushes principles above all other considerations. And I think that's one of the things that's been very confusing for folks. What about the party? What about, our power base? What about the future? If you don't get elected, you can't make a difference, and things like that. And those are all good questions. They're all good arguments. The party matters. Power matters. Popularity matters. There are a lot of P words that matter. But unless they're all grounded in our founding principles, I think we lose something. And I think that's been evident in what's happened in recent years with the Republican Party.